Thinking about the PhD program that I knew I wanted to go into, I automatically said literacy. However, today is not just about me going into a literacy program. Today is about an amazing book that was written that really literally made me say, oh my God. And the reason why is because I have been a teacher in an early childhood classroom for the past 5 years, and I always taught before that. But this book, looking at the review of this book, is pretty much everything that an introductory teacher needing to go into early childhood would need to learn about literacy. From the ability of teachers to be both direct and indirect in their instruction, to covering the fact that teachers need to know exactly what their materials are that are set up in the classroom, to the very ideas of exactly how to teach literacy. I really thoroughly enjoyed this book. It made me feel a couple feelings though. First of all, that maybe my research and my experience has already been covered. So I really felt a lot of this was really, really good information that made me say, aha. Because I know this text right here, which was written by my advisors, Susan Nelduke and Annie Moses, is actually something that every teacher going into the field of early childhood should read. I think my big takeaway from this book would be the fact that there are so many different ways to teach literacy to young children, and it does not need to be thrown into their faces. I think right now in our society, we have a big push towards making sure that we are teaching children to read before the age of kindergarten, and I think that is disgusting. It is not developmentally appropriate, yet this book is, and it suggests time periods that are very important for children to learn before they get to the major point of learning how to read. I think another aspect of this book, besides it being developmentally appropriate, is the very fact that it is using interesting ways to engage children. You know, there's mentions of rice writing, and there's mentions of all sorts of different types of ways to engage children that do not just involve sit down, write what you have, and stay still, which is something that I just definitely disagree with. So this book is very interactive. It's got some really great ideas for teachers how to include writing. And as I mentioned before, it also encourages a background and environment of education and literacy. So I think for me, it shows how you can set up your books. It shows how you can set up your classroom. It shows how you can set up basically everything in your room, just to be sure that you have a very important classroom that's filled with literacy inspiring tools. I think that one of the greatest things about this book is that it is so simple. It allows people to be able to see exactly what goes on in the classroom. You don't have to be an experienced master's degree level teacher to understand this book. This is a book that even beginning teachers, the grandmas of the world that are, have been in early childhood forever, can read, can pick up and read, and can understand and apply literacy principles to it. One thing that I do challenge, and that is, I think it needs to go a little bit deeper in terms of being able to explain literacy a little bit more to how to engage students in today's climate. Unfortunately, we've made a move to today's climate where we are pressing down literacy to our younger children, and it's not developmentally appropriate, it's not brain appropriate. Do I agree with this book? Absolutely. And I do think that this is the developmentally place that this needs to happen. But given today's standards, I think maybe a re-edition or some kind of way to address how curriculum's been pressed down would be beneficial, just to update this a little bit. I'm aware it was written in, when was this written? I'm not aware of this, but this is okay, because this is good. I think it was written in 2005, so that's quite a while ago. So that makes sense for the time period that it was written in. I do want to stress that I find this extremely important given the developmental considerations it's been given. I will say, even as a practicing teacher that has been in the field of early childhood, I found some interesting parts of this book. And I found some ways that I can physically set up my classroom should I ever go into early childhood again. I want to say that I learned the ways in which I need to do new research as a professor, because this is absolutely a complete volume. This is everything you could possibly hope for in terms of research and being able to be in the field of early education literacy. I really think this is a seminal book, and I think it's really something to grasp onto and be proud of. So with that being said, I have one final thing to say about this book. By reading it, I learned that my advisor is a legend. No pressure, Danielle. No pressure. Thank you so much. You have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed learning about my beautiful experience with this book. And I really appreciate being able to read it and to understand the importance of it, to understand what my research possibly will have to build upon, as this has already been done. Thank you so much. Bye.